Hello again. I'm Bruce Backa from NTP Software, and I want to talk to you about partitioning your file data. So right now, most of us simply have one massive sump of file data. And the problem, we've already talked about the problems that this entails. Cost increases over time, things get harder to find, backups take longer to complete. The way to make all of these issues work better is to consider partitioning your file data. The experts in the industry tell us that 80-20 rules apply to file data just like everything else, and 20% of your data is active, 80% is inactive. What's the point of paying good money to back up stuff that we know isn't going to change? Nobody's even using it. So what we need is to take this 80% and put it somewhere else, somewhere cheaper. So we put the 80% here on cheaper storage. We've now made room so we don't need to buy any more of the expensive primary tier storage. And one of the secrets of success is that we get to decide when we open this gateway. If I leave this gateway open all the time, then this is constantly changing and this is constantly changing, so I haven't saved anything in operating costs because now I have to back this up every time it changes. But suppose I only open this gateway once every 6 months. For 6 months, whatever this is, it isn't going to change. So there's no need for a weekly backup, there's no need for a monthly backup, because I can just put it on one set of tapes and keep them for 6 months. Meanwhile, during this entire 6 months, I only need to pay to back up this 20%. And that reduces my operating cost. It makes the backup complete in 1/5 of the time. And so in addition to tiering down the cost per gig, I have tiered down, if you will, the operating cost, which is where the bulk of the savings comes in, because we all know that acquisition cost for any computer-related equipment is 1/5 of the total cost of ownership. So this savings in operating cost is even more valuable than the savings in the disk costs. Now let's talk about growth in general. What makes something active? To be active, it has to be used by a user. In today's economy, none of us are hiring like there's no tomorrow. So users are relatively fixed, which means that this volume of active data is relatively fixed. It's going to be a long time before you have to buy more infrastructure for your active primary tier of data. Meanwhile, we do know that storage grows at 20, 40%, even 300%, and that's because these users create new file objects that come in, and they stop using the previous objects because we pay them to do new business every day. And so when we open this 6-month window, the new inactive data gets to escape through the window. And so that's how we keep this relatively constant and how we tier down the cost of our growth. I'm Bruce Backa from NTP Software, and this is file partitioning.